You know, there's so much that really shapes who and what we are. In a new series, Chronicles of KC, our goal is to provide you with insight and perspective into how Kansas City came to be what it is today.
We'll highlight some of the lesser-known stories that are still relevant to the fabric of this community. And Kevin, last week you told a great story about Sarah Rector and gave us a tour of her first home in Kansas City.
Yeah, that home on 12th Street still stands. She was our city's first black millionaire, but her family members say some of her story told for years isn't completely true.
This is Aunt Sister Sarah Rector's obituary.
This story you're about to hear
My fondest memory was the farm.
is a whole different animal.
She had chickens, cows, calves, and stuff like that.
Maybe them geese.
So the geese chased us.
Yeah.
But
This flock of sisters sat down with me to separate fact from fiction about their aunt.
They should know the truth.
Yeah.
They should know the truth.
they should know that all the pictures that's out there of Sarah Rector
Are not her.
Sarah Rector.
Right.
Last week, we told you the story of Sarah Rector, the first black millionaire in Kansas City, at the time the youngest millionaire in the country. One of the many descendants of slaves or freedmen born before 1906, given a land allotment in Oklahoma, where a driller hit a gusher on Rector's allotment.
There was also a real danger to freedmen living in the area.
Historian Diane Houston says that's a big reason why the Rectors packed up and moved to Kansas City. Sarah's mother, Rose Rector, bought this house on 12th Street. Houston says as soon as the oil was discovered, rumors and inaccuracies started flowing just as freely.
We always know this. You can't always trust everything you read.
And then they had it also that she was an orphan. She was not an orphan.
She's not an orphan.
And said that her father died in prison. And it also had, which is not true.
And get this, Houston and Rector's nieces tell me there's a picture of Sarah Rector at the Smithsonian. That's not her. So how come no one said anything?
Even when we were kids, my mom and them knew that wasn't her, you know, but never leave it alone. Just let them talk.
Rector's nieces say Sarah and her mother and Sarah's husband all lived at this house on 12th Street. And eventually,
She had a house on Lock Ridge.
Rector's family members say she just about bought up the entire block. She also owned a house across the street, an apartment building down the street, and she liked the finer things in life.
She lived a life of luxury. She had money coming in, and she did whatever she pleased with it.
I remember the fancy cars she had, the big fancy Cadillacs. I remember that. I remember her coming to the house and they played cards and they'd sit around and they have fun. They would close Emeryburg Fair downtown because we couldn't go in there and try on clothes. Yeah. But they closed it down for her to come and shop.
There were many layers to Sarah Rector, and while some of what circulated online is false, she was never an orphan, she wasn't abused or living on a dirt floor. Family members say what is true, she played hard and she loved hard.
Most of it's like she was a party girl. She loved the party, entertain, and she did. But the flip side was she loved her family.
Sarah Rector died in 1967. Oddly enough, her funeral was held at that home on 12th Street. At the time, you see, the house was a funeral home, one of the many transformations since the Rectors lived there in the 1920s.
Fascinating look back, Kevin. So who owns the house now, and do they have any plans to restore it?
You know, Caitlin, it's currently owned by United Inner-City Services. We told you a bit about them last week, a nonprofit that helps with employment, housing assistance, childhood education. Right now, they're raising money to restore that home, and they plan on dedicating a wing of the home once it's restored to Sarah Rector. So we'll stay on top of that.
Very fitting. Great story, Kevin. Thank you.